When hope is gone, undo this lock and send me forth on a moonlit walk. Release restraint level 0. Hey kids, wanna see a dead body?
Hi guys, this is the Void of the Ravenclaw. Welcome back to another fanfiction story. If you like this type of content, smash the like button and subscribe for future videos and updates that I do post on my community tab frequently. This is the arrival of Brightburn, part 7. Let's continue where we last left off in our story. On his way home, flying through the sky, Brightburn was thinking about the strange meeting he had with Superwoman. She's definitely a Viper, but she's a Viper with useful information. While he was flying, he connected his communicator, or using his communicator to connect with Alexander Luthor. Luthor, this is Brightburn. Copy that. I hear you loud and clear. I got an interesting visit from Superwoman. Luthor stopped what he was doing and paid attention completely. Tell me everything. Brightburn begins to relay the entire meeting he had with Superwoman, the deal, what she's really after. The intel she would provide us would be extremely useful, but she's a double-edged sword. She could easily work against us as much as she could work with us. That Pacific woman is a Viper, but a very good source of information. I'll let you handle Superwoman. Just be careful around that one. I plan to. As he cut the connection with Luthor and continued flying, all of Deku's danger senses start to go off all at once. He felt it long before he saw it. The cessation was very familiar to him. Teleportation, but this felt different, mechanical. He didn't resist. He was curious who's trying to teleport him, so he let it happen. As he disappeared in bursts of energy, as the process of him being teleported began, being teleported from one place to another in mere nanoseconds, instantaneously. He's not new to this sensation of being removed from one place and placed into another. But what surprised him, he seemed to be in some sort of spaceship outside of Earth's atmosphere, away from any of the Syndicate satellites. So clearly, wherever this is, he's clearly not being detected. As a voice broke through his train of thought, I do apologize for the forceful teleportation you had to experience. Brainiac of Earth 3 calmly walked towards Brightburn with his hands behind his back. I am called Brainiac. That's my designation, but you may call me Legion. It's more personal, more unique. Why did you teleport me here to your ship? I've been observing this planet, this campaign, that the Syndicate and their Kryptonian leader been raging. It's very troubling. If the Syndicate decides to expand their control throughout the galaxy, they would only accomplish chaos. So I'm in a difficult position. Conflict is not in my nature. My only purpose is to observe, learn, and store data on all inhabitable planets. But this Kryptonian and his syndicate is dangerous. The rest of the galaxy is... well, this part of the galaxy is isolated for good reason, but I can't allow this corruption to spread. That's why I chose you out of all the life forms on this planet. You're powerful and clearly different. You're from a species I've never categorized before. It piqued my interest. You seem to have your own grudge against this syndicate. That's a lot to take in from whatever you are. Machine, organic, I can't really tell. In a way, both terms are correct. I'm part of a species of living machines, if you want to label it something. They're long gone by now, like most species. When efficient time has passed. What exactly is your purpose here? Because you went out of your way to pluck me out of mid-air. A partnership, brightburn. Beneficial partnership for both of us. You get your payback. And any other reason you have. And by helping you, I will be removing a disease before it could spread through the rest of the galaxy. You're powerful, brightburn. You have the most potential of growth of anyone on this planet. You might not be as strong as this Kryptonian, this Ultraman, according to my data, but that gap is closing. Okay, let's just say I agree with this partnership. What sort of resources are we talking about? Technology, weapons, and a more secured, highly advanced base of operation. And if you're going to continue this war, and it is a war, you'll need a base of operation. You need allies, resources that I can provide you. Not much of the ally sort, but resources that could easily be complied. And what else? I'm no fool. This sort of deal seems to be too good to be true. Indeed. I was right about you. You are quite intelligent. Not to my level, but close enough. All I require is a sample of your blood. I wish to study your species, not out of malice, but out of knowledge, and categorize it into my categorization of different species that I've categorized throughout my travels. That's going to be hard because I don't really bleed very easily, my robotic friend. But do you really understand who you're trying to make a deal with? As he stood beside Brainiac, without no fear. I'm fully aware who I am getting involved with. You're no hero. You're dangerous. You're definitely what humanity calls a villain. But at least you have boundaries you won't cross. You're not a villain out of lust for power. You are a villain out of pragmatism, circumstances. You sure know a lot. Legion smirked. A very human expression. That's my field of expertise. What do you say, brightburn? Do we have a accord? Fuck it. Let's see where this alliance goes. As he took up Legion's... He agreed to Legion's alliance and shook his hand. As Brightburn grasped Brainiac's hand firmly. And if you betray me, I'll turn you into my fucking toaster. The smirk never left Legion's face. I expect nothing less. Like I said prior, you want to sample my blood, that's going to be difficult, but I'll see what I can come up with. Brightburn disappeared. As easily as he reappeared, found himself in mid-air as he took flight, as he had to catch himself before he could dive into the ground. So he easily caught himself flying once again, flying over one of the cities. A lot of things are happening all at once, but instead of Brightburn being irritated, frustrated, or worried, he was excited. He's not worried one bit about this Brainiac, this Legion. If he betrays him, he'll kill him like the rest. And there's only one thing that actually could kill him in his world, and the only source of that is his ship, that he plans to destroy himself, long before his enemies could discover his weakness. Once Alexander Luthor finishes studying his ship, he's going to personally destroy it, most likely throwing it into the sun. He made his way back with no further interruptions. He entered the safe house and could tell Blackfire was in bed, sleeping. Brightburn looked at the time. It was starting to get late. So he decided to get some sleep in one of the extra rooms. The next morning, Deku was up and made breakfast for his guest. It didn't take the princess very long to get out of the bed, smelling the food, as she made her way downstairs slowly. Her body is still recovering, but at least she can move on her own. When Blackfire finally sat down, Brightburn placed a plate of food in front of her and proceeded to lay down all the facts, what happened last night, from the fight with Grundy, his encounter with Superwoman, and his meeting with Brainiac, or Legion. This Legion, this robotic alien, I don't know nothing about this entity. I've heard of the name Brainiac before, but nothing really important. I have no doubt this creature has his own plans. Indeed, I will be trading carefully with that one. Let's get down to the real issue. Superwoman. She clearly wants to use you to gain power. Obviously. Then we'll just have to use her then. First. Then when she's no longer useful, we could eliminate her then. though you're not against a temporary alliance. I'm deeply troubled by it, but I'm looking at this realistically. She wants to use you, so we'll use her. It's a benefit arrangement. When she's no longer useful, she dies either by you or either by me. Either way, the bitch dies. I'm starting to like the way you think. But what are you going to do about this Brainiac? If he becomes an issue, I'll simply turn into my toaster. So what exactly are you planning now? Exactly. I still have to take out Black Mask. What I got from my contacts, Grundy won't be dead for long. He's pretty much immortal. If I throw him into the sun, maybe he'll be able to stay dead. But he's no longer a problem. For now. It'll take several years for Grundy to recover. How are you feeling, by the way? I'm recovering nicely. Not at 100% though. I'm unable to use my powers. My body is far too weak for that. Once my body is at 100%, I'll be going with you. And who give you that authority? Like it or not, Brightburn, we're partners. You should know by now. I'll eventually get my way, eventually. I have no doubt in that, princess. So, when are you going to target this Black Mask fella? Soon. Once the night falls, I'll head out. But I mean to ask, why do you only operate at night? Let's just say I'm more powerful at night when I am during the day. We'll just leave it at that. Cryptic. Very well, keep your secrets. So what exactly is your plan to find this Black Mask? You can't be thinking you're just gonna barge in. As much as entertaining that would be, just barging in and killing anything I see until I kill Black Mask would be more trouble than is worth. I need to approach this with a scalpel compared to approaching this with a hammer. I need to handle this with more finesse. The Syndicate might know what Brightburn looks like, but they don't know nothing about Deku. You were going to find out eventually anyways. I'm putting a lot of trust in you. Don't make me regret it. As he took off his face guard mask, as his black hair turned into white. So that's what you look like under that face guard mask. I approve. I do like the white hair, though. So, what, you're just gonna walk in there and ask for an application? Something like that. This Black Mask might be part of the Syndicate, but he's a mob boss at heart, and people like that, they're always recruiting. I know how men like that think. You seem to know quite a bit about these Earthlings. Let's just say I've been on this planet for a while. I've been meaning to ask. I know you're not human. And what I've seen you in action, from the news reports and the footages, are you some sort of Kryptonian? Nothing of the sort. Let's just say I am the last of my kind, and we'll leave it at that. nor do I know the name of my species. To make a long story short, I crash landed on this planet. When I was just an infant, I've been on this planet ever since. I've never actually been off this planet. I won't be elaborating any further about my past. Eat up. You'll need your strength. As they continued to eat, after breakfast, Deku walked out of the side of the back of the house, where there are several different sized boulders on the ground scattered. Deku closed his eyes and began to lift the smaller of the boulders to make it hover above the ground. He held it there for 20 minutes, then lowered it down gently. He continued this process with the same boulder. When he felt there was no resistance lifting the boulder up anymore, he would use the same method on the other bigger boulders, one by one. He would continue this process for several hours using telekinesis training. Then he eventually took a break. His pyrokinesis is still out of reach. It's not like he can't access it. He certainly can. He's uncertain how his body would react, nor has he any real training experience. Only time he's ever used his pyrokinesis was during his training. He's not comfortable for it to be battle tested yet. He might as well, if he tried, he might blow himself up, cause a forest fire. He just want to test it, not just yet. He's only used his pyrokinesis a few times in the training back at the lab, secret lab, where he trained for several years inside Luthor's, secret lab. He just didn't have enough time to train in it properly. He was more focused on his other powers. To pay any further attention to it, he basically put on the back burner. The moment the sun started to fall, Deku made his way towards Gotham by teleporting away and reappearing in the nearby woods next to Gotham boundaries. As Deku proceeded to walk towards the exit of the woods, to keep people figuring out that Brightburn is connected with Deku, he won't be using any of his abilities from his alien heritage, so he decided to use only telekinesis. Walking into Gotham using civilian transport was a new experience for Deku. Since he'd been on his world, he hadn't really been using a whole lot of transportation. He never really need to, considering he could fly over the cities, or straight up teleport. He's never actually had to walk into the city like a normal person. The city was quite chaotic. On the ground, Deku analyzed everything he saw with his calculated eyes, never staying in one spot for very long. It didn't take Deku long to pinpoint Black Mask's henchmen. Once he entered Black Mask's territory, they stuck out, considering all of the goons wear similar masks than Black Mask does. Similar, but not the same. The Black Mask had similar aspects of their mask. They're skull-like, but they're a different color. They're all red instead of Black Mask is all black. But ultimately, they're different compared to Black Mask's mask, so we won't discuss that any further. Deku decided to shadow the henchman to see if he could find a way But Deku is basically following them to see if they'll lead him to any training and any recruitment areas. It didn't take him long to find out they're having a mass recruitment in the old abandoned factory. Used as a staging ground for recruitment, Deku entered with the rest of the upcoming possible recruits to Black Mask faction of the Syndicate. Deku just stood there and decided to lean against the wall with his arms across his chest, waiting for the party to start. Deku might be slight curious on how Black Mask does his recruitment. And the rest of the other future recruits were either there by choice or in hopes of getting into the Syndicate for better income, or they're there by force by the Syndicate itself. Everyone there has their own reasons, and Deku could sense it on some level. Deku has always had the strange ability to sense when somebody's hostile or peaceful. He could even tell when someone's lying to him. Using his senses, he, alongside with his telekinesis, through his psychic abilities with his telekinesis, he could also track someone's line by keeping track of someone's heart rate. Outsider appeared over the ledge of the top floor of the factory and shot his pistol to the ceiling, getting everyone's attention as he put his gun back into the holster and slapped his cane onto the ground. Good, I have your gentleman's attention. I oversees Black Mask's recruitment operations, and you may refer me as the outsider. Now let's get this ball rolling, shall we, gentlemen? There's clearly a lot of you more than originally planned. Unfortunately, not all of you will be able to get a spot. It matters not, the extras will be dead regardless. The factory doors begin to lock. Pure metal sheets slam down, covering all the entrance and windows of the abandoned factory. What happens next, boys, is quite simple. You simply have to survive. In a couple minutes, Killer Croc will be released, and it's your job to survive until this recruitment is over. Unfortunately, there's only about 10 open slots available, so there might be some competition, and the rest of you will die. And I must warn you, gentlemen, Killer Croc hasn't eaten in a while, so he's going to be quite famished. And he does have a interesting taste for human flesh. The clock starts now, as he slammed his cane onto the floor of the second floor of the factory, as he took out his pocket watch and pressed start. The outsider watch the future recruits panic and start to attack each other. He did not stop them. He allowed them to cut their numbers down even further. It matters not. Alfred just watched the future recruits turn on each other, except for one. One of them he noticed, the boy with the white hair. bright glowing green eyes, just examining the carnage and chaos with a calculated look. Alfred made a mental note to keep an eye on him when Killer Croc is finally released. Deku just sat back and kept a lookout, with his arm still across his chest, leaning against the wall, watching everyone turn on each other, either in hand-to-hand combat, using weapons, or using their own superpowers. Deku continued to observe all the different battles going off all at once. He pinpointed several weaklings. The weak link in the chain. He snapped their necks with telekinesis, with a wave of his hand. No one even realized what he just did. Everyone was too engulfed in their own battles to notice. Them is slowly picking off one by one. Deku watches two next targets fighting each other. They both were holding bladed weapons. Instead of snapping their neck, like he did to the last two, he proceeded to use a little creativity, using his telekinesis to guide their weapons into the chests of both of the recruits, killing them at the same time. The way Deku went about it, no one noticed. Everyone else just figured they just killed themselves by accident, not realizing Deku's giving everyone a helping hand. How fascinating. We're not even a minute in this one. He's already killed 4 people already. And the insidious part of it, no one has ever been aware of it. It seems that he has some sort of telekinesis. Powerful, judging how he's been using it. Most useful indeed. Hope he survives Killer Croc. He definitely has what it takes to join Black Mass's group. And the Syndicate by association. So this is the next batch of recruits we have. They don't look like much. Yes, majority of these future recruits don't have anything too impressive. There's only a rare few that sticks out compared to the rest. Like that young man over there. The one with the white hair. Black Mass turned his attention towards Deku, using his telekinesis. That one with the white hair. How many has he killed? Not including the 2 he just killed. He's killed 4 other competitors without anyone even realizing it, making his total kill count so far is 6. Very well. Release Killer Croc. I want to see what he does. Excellent. I agree completely. As Alfred closed his pocket watch and stick it back into his pocket of his coat with a click that echoed. Then he took out his phone and dialed a number. This is the Outsider. Release the Croc. Deku was the first one to notice the big metal door on the ground start to vibrate. Deku immediately got some distance away from the hatch door on the ground. The other competitors were unaware of the danger. Deku had no intention of alerting anyone about the incoming danger that's about to arrive. Then it finally happened. Something burst through the metal hatch, ripping it like paper. Ripping metal like it's mere pieces of paper. As a humongous humanoid-sized croc appeared, bursting out of the large hatch, grabbed the first person it saw, picked him up with his claws, digging into the man's skin, and bit down, biting the man's head and half his torso off of his body, as Killer Croc chomped and began to eat the part of the man in his mouth. Then tossed the remaining parts of the body of the half-eaten man, hit the wall hard, making a blood splatter all over it, all over the hard surface of the wall. The rest of the competitors panicked, then attacked. Killer Croc used his claws to slice and dice his next victim, cutting the man in 3 different pieces. Deku did not panic. He simply observed. He can tell this creature is strong. He can see the way it moves. It's a lot more controlled. Nothing like Grundy. Grundy was just pure power. No finesse. This one's more controlled, wild. Not as strong as Grundy, but strong enough to be a challenge for most people. That would clash with this creature. Deku did not act. He allowed the creature to cut down the numbers a little more. Then, when the numbers were down a reasonable level, that's when Deku finally acted. Killer Croc finally turned his attention towards the charging Deku. But before Killer Croc could get close enough to strike, he was tossed into the hard surface of the wall by an unknown force. Deku watched the creature get up from his physical throw using his telekinesis. And that's where we're going to stop it for now. I'll catch you in the next part.